Okay, so I've been wanting to do this Letterboxd video for quite some time because I love Letterboxd. I think they're one of the greatest movie tracking websites that has ever been created. They're great, yet I do not use them. I cannot use them, and I suggest no one use Letterboxd right now because they have a huge issue with privacy, okay? You know, I didn't want to do this video. I thought, okay, Letterboxd is a young service. They'll eventually sort themselves out. And then I saw this new feature that they've just added. This new feature they've added to pick a pronoun for your account. You can be labeled as a they, their, he, his, she, her, z, zer, xe, xyr, z as in zed, z, her, z, zer, or it, its. Okay, this tells me that Letterboxd is going after the progressive, modern audience, that they are a progressive company and that they are, you know, very sensitive to people's specific pronouns, okay? I think a more important feature, though, is to protect their users' privacy. Okay. First of all, let's back up a moment. What is Letterboxd? Let's read from their frequently asked questions. What is Letterboxd? Letterboxd is a social network for sharing your taste in film. Use it as a diary to record your opinions about film as you watch them, or just to keep track of the films you've seen in the past. Showcase your favorite films on your profile page. Rate, review, and tag films as you add them. Find and follow your friends. Social media to see what they're enjoying. Keep a watch list of films you'd like to see, or create lists/collections on any given topic. For example, favorite heist films. We've been described as like Goodreads for movies. Goodreads is another website where you can track the books that you read. Okay, so Letterboxd allows you to track the movies that you watch. It's a movie tracking website. You go on there, you can create what are called diary entries, which are little capsule reviews. You can specify when you saw the movie, the time and date, and give a little information on what the movie is about. Basically, a little movie review. Basically, it's like a combination of a movie review website and a social media website. Why would you want to do this? Why would you want to track the movies you watch? If you're a movie freak, you know, like I am, you want to know, when's the last time I saw Return of the Living Dead? Okay, I saw it here. I was seeing it with my friends. It was really good. I went and watched it at the theater, you know, 35 millimeter, had a great time. You know, still as great as it ever was, you know. Or if you know, that obscure Japanese samurai film, you can log it. So again, this is a very kind of niche type of a website. But at the same time, I think it's really great for movie fans, for movie critics as well. So Letterboxd, as I said, has been around for a few years. And you know, I think it was started by a web design firm. It's kind of just their little side project. I'm sure they'd want it to, you know, if it got big, they'd want it to be their, you know, main project. The problem with Letterboxd is that you create these what are called diary entries, and I think they're deceptively named because when I think about diary, I think of something that's inherently private, something that's inherently personal. And the issue is that once you write this diary entry, it goes out on your profile, it's posted to your profile, and then anyone can read it. There is no way to make the diary entries that you write private. Now, you can make these lists. You can make the lists of films. You could add a list, movies I've watched, and then add little comments to that list, and that would be private. You can make lists private. But as far as I know, at this point, in mid-2016, in early July 2016, there is not a way to make your entire account private or just to make specific diary entries private. I think this is horrible, horrible, horrible. Now, there is an area on the Letterboxd website where there's a suggestions area which is actually a really cool place, a suggestions area where you can suggest things to Letterboxd features to add. And so there's a suggestion here. There's a couple of them, but the main suggestion thread here is private accounts. This is February 10th, 2013. I'd like the option of keeping my account private, like how Twitter handles private accounts. And so there is Matthew Buchanan, who is an administrator of Letterboxd. He says this is planned at this point. We're thinking more about this now that our API is nearing. In the meantime, note that you can block any member that's following you from posting or posting comments. And this was dated January 27th, 2015. So this thread goes back way to the earlier, to back into there have been comments here, about the privacy settings, everything. And in November, he says, now that response was January. Now in November, he's written, now he says, we don't have a time frame for this at present. Once we ship our app and our API, it'll be nearer to the top of the to-do list. It'll be nearer at the top of his to-do list to basically create a social media website with no privacy controls. Imagine if you posted to Facebook and everyone, your friends, coworkers, employees, anyone who could view it, could view all of your Facebook postings, because Letterboxd is telling you, what is it? It's a social network. It's a social network for movie fans with no privacy controls, with very little privacy controls. Because if you make a list, it's not like it's just not as cool looking as making a diary entry. It doesn't. It's just a blank. This is just beyond me. And by the way, they call themselves the Goodreads for movies. Goodreads, actually, I just checked this out. Goodreads does have the option to create private accounts, and they do have privacy controls. This is just, it made me irate. I created an account with Letterboxd. I started adding these diary entries, and maybe I was stupid. I didn't read, but then I logged out of my account and I checked my profile page, and suddenly I can read all of my reviews. It freaked me out. And now you can argue that anything that you put on the internet, even in a private account, could possibly be seen by someone. It can be seen by the government. It can be seen by hackers. So don't put anything on the internet that you would not want to be 100% public. I 100% agree with that. And that's, I have a YouTube page. I'm talking to you. I'm putting stuff out in the public, okay? I'm not really worried about hackers or the government. What I'm really worried about are stalkers. I'm worried about employers. I'm worried about people having data that people are putting on this website being exposed and not being fully informed that is going on. Having a little bit of some boilerplate little one point font text on the bottom to say, oh, by the way, everything that you write on this website is public, and there's no way that you can turn your account to be private. And people are realizing this. They're on the website. They're freaking out here. And I just signed out. I would love to use this site to keep notes on films without publishing a review. Again, a movie critic wanting to publish notes and make a review. And he keeps saying it's not planned, not planned, not planned, not planned. And another person brings up what, again, is a big problem for me is imagine. Now, they're talking about their pronouns, and one of the groups that I feel would benefit from that would be again, progressive groups, the LGBT group. Okay, imagine if you have a trans person or a gay person in a small town. They sign up absentmindedly for Letterboxd, and they start writing reviews and posting diary entries for films or documentaries geared toward a gay or trans audience. Imagine now, imagine they're closeted. Imagine now and they post these, say, under a screen name, Pinky12345, that they have is the same as their Gmail account, their email account. Now imagine employees, employers or employees or friends or family in this small town do some online digging, and they find this Letterboxd screen name with the same screen name as this person's email account. And let's say if they find some identifying stuff, and then they start looking at these gay and lesbian and trans documentaries that this person has written about. So basically, Letterboxd has the ability to basically expose people. There are no privacy controls on this. So again, anybody can data mine, can do whatever they want. You know, it's not a hacker, it's not the government, it's not somebody going into their private database and uncovering the stuff. It's not that you've hidden the privacy controls and I can't get to it. It's that there are no privacy controls. The gate is wide open. Anyone, for any reason, can look at your profile, and maybe you've written some innocuous reviews about possibly not innocuous films, which identifies you as someone in the gay or trans community, and suddenly there's a discussion now. The fact that this has not happened so far makes me worried, and it makes me, it's good. I mean, I'm glad that somebody has not been hurt. I don't know if somebody has been hurt. Again, we don't know at this point. We don't know everything, but it worries me in that I don't think that Letterboxd right now has a large enough audience that this could occur. You know, they've not reached a critical mass that enough people are using this site, and it's such a niche site that, again, my concern is maybe a niche concern. Now, I may be ranting and raving over nothing right now, but it's a big possibility that could happen. And if you're doing a social media network, I think there's one post where one of these moderators, it may have been Matthew or something, he said that it made the logic of the site too complex to add private accounts. That's a fundamental feature of a social media network, that you be able to, you have customers, you protect the customers' data and the information that they share. The fact that they don't, to be honest, makes me very angry. It seems to me that they're almost trying to gain a critical mass by having these reviews available to be searchable on the internet. You know, you do a search for, an obscure Thai horror film on Google, you see the Letterboxd review for it, you're exposed to Letterboxd. If that Thai horror film critic had his account in private, you might not do that. So if I was thinking in a very negative way, it would seem to me that Letterboxd may be sacrificing the privacy of their customers for a greater mind share, a greater audience. That would be a very negative way to think, and I don't think that. I think that probably what he said is true, that it made the logic of the site too complex, but I'm sorry, if you're going to do a social media network, you've got to have privacy controls. And right now he says in this same thread, he says it's still planned. This is a kind of response to what I'm talking about, because somebody's basically saying the same thing as I am. These people are like, oh my God, because they realize that everything they post is like basically viewable by everyone. He says it's still planned, but not at the top of the priority list yet. The best solution is not to put any identifying info or links on your profile, and choose a username that likewise doesn't identify you. Well, how about put that in red fucking text when somebody signs up? By the way, we do not have any privacy controls on our website. Do not put anything here that's going to identify you. I haven't signed up for a Letterboxd account in a while, so I don't know. Maybe they do that. Okay? Maybe I can be totally wrong. Maybe there is a way to turn privacy controls on right now as of July 2016. I still don't think there is. If there was, there would be in this probably a suggestion thing, like, hey, we got this now added, come back to us. So, what I'm doing is raising the alarm bells on Letterboxd, and I'm saying here, this is a social media network, this is a social media website that has zero primary privacy controls. Okay, it is very alarming. I think Letterboxd, as far as the interface of the website, as far as how you add movie reviews and everything. The web app, the mobile app that they just launched is great, is incredible. But and it's much better than any other movie reviewing, movie tracking website I've seen. A lot of the others are just like creating lists and creating stuff. This is really, really cool. This has all of the features that I want. You can export your data so that your data is safe too. You can export it as an Excel file, I believe, or a CSV file. So your data is not locked in this website forever. That is great. That is fabulous. But 20 thumbs down for having no privacy control, as far as I know. And again, if anybody has any other ideas of what's going on here, again, this is a very niche website. This is probably a very small concern, but this should be like priority zero when you create a social media website and you have your customers sharing information about where they saw a movie, what type of movie was that? Was that a horror film? Was that an X-rated film? Was that a vintage X-rated film that you're now adding to your website, and you live in a Mormon community, and that's going to affect your life? Is this okay? So is it a stalker that suddenly found your Letterboxd profile online and now knows where you were, knows what movie theater, knows in the generic vicinity of where you saw this movie? So now he's got a line on where you're at. There are so many areas, and then there's the whole idea of these accounts being able to message each other, people getting abusive in their messages to people just on the website that don't really seem to be addressed by Letterboxd at all. So there are a lot of possibilities and a lot of very, very, very dangerous stuff that can go on here. I think Letterboxd should thank God that it hasn't gotten to that point yet. Because in this modern era where people are solving things with a gun, this idea of creating a social network website without any privacy controls is nuts. And I say it over and over and over again because I'm just in disbelief. I mean, I may be repeating myself a little bit here, but the idea of, even the thinking of the idea of creating this without a way to, have the customers turn off what they want the internet to see, what they want, it's just absurd, and it makes me angry. And this is why I have not made this video in a while. And again, if anyone has any responses here to how to turn on privacy in Letterboxd, if anyone has any suggestions for alternate websites that are as good as Letterboxd, if anyone wants to tell me I'm totally wrong and I'm off base, because what I'm going on is basically using Letterboxd over a year ago when I tried to turn on the privacy controls and realized there are no privacy controls, it's all public. If that's the case, again, let me know. Let me know. Write a comment, because my ears and eyes are wide open in this area, because I feel this is priority number one. Get some privacy controls on this website. This is ridiculous, and they're better than this. And it's probably going to increase. Social media websites have a lot of logic that you need to figure out, and this is priority zero that needs to be figured out ASAP.